Noah Cyrus may have grown up in a famous family, but that also made it difficult to figure out her own identity. Here's how she went from being labeled Miley's little sister to making emotional, Grammy-nominated music. Noah Cyrus was born in Nashville in the year 2000, the youngest child of country singer Billy Ray Cyrus and his then-wife Tish. Noah is also the sister of singer Miley Cyrus and Metro station guitarist Trace Cyrus. But despite being part of a very famous family, Noah initially struggled to stand out. She told iNews, "Something that really hurt me as a child was that I was stripped of my identity. I had no name at all." Eventually, the youngest Cyrus began getting recognized too. She would later tell Rolling Stone, "I had a really hard time being a part of a public family, and I struggled a bit with that because it wasn't exactly my first choice." She also recalled how people would come up to her to ask if she was Miley Cyrus's sister. Sometimes not wanting to deal with the attention, Noah would lie to people and claim to be unrelated. Music soon became a fixation for the future singer. She particularly fell in love with emo music thanks to Trace. She told Access TV,
"As a kid, I'd listen to, Metro station because I was my brother's biggest fan and always wanted to be at their concerts."
Eventually, Noah began dipping her toe in the family business. By 2007, she had appeared on several episodes of Hannah Montana alongside her dad and sister. She would play various small roles, including one credited as Little Shopper. In an interview with People, Billy Ray praised his youngest daughter's acting ability and said she'd have a career if she wants it. He told the outlet, "If she wants to be an actress, I think she's got the chops to do it. She's pretty much a little natural." In 2009, Noah voiced the title character in the English dub of Ponyo. Even though the cast included luminaries like Cate Blanchett and Liam Neeson, Noah told Live for Films that it was actually her best friend she was most looking forward to working with, saying, "I was excited working with Frankie Jonas." These early experiences with her own fame still affect Noah more than a decade later. She told Paper in 2019 that online comments around this time were extremely unkind. She recalled, "When I was little, I wasn't posting pictures of myself. Those pictures were just on the internet because my family was my family. I read the comments about my face and things they would change about me. That made me grow to hate my face and my body." Even though Billy Ray Cyrus said his youngest daughter had a future in acting, she moved into music instead. In 2016, Noah dropped her debut single, Make Me Cry. She told Paper that she'd been involved in music since she was a child, learning how to harmonize with her dad. When she struck out on her own, she realized she had a talent for songwriting. Noah told the outlet, "Writing is the best way to get your mind clear. It's also a great way to explain your past or what you hope for the future." Make Me Cry is a pop tune that features a guest spot from British artist Labyrinth. While speaking with iHeartRadio in 2017, Noah said they got along great, adding, "We're just kind of crazy together," which I think was really cool. The song was a decent hit, peaking at number 46 on the Billboard Hot 100. In 2018, a few years into her solo career, Noah attended the VMAs with her then-boyfriend Lil Xan. Their awkward red carpet photos went viral on social media because the tattooed rapper couldn't help but put his nose right up against his girlfriend's neck. That very same day, they dropped a song called Live or Die together. Unfortunately, the relationship was doomed from the start. Mere weeks after their red carpet debut, Lil Xan and Noah went their separate ways. A few months later, Cyrus commented on a World Star hip-hop Instagram post, writing, "My last relationship was the mistake." In November 2020, Harry Styles set the fashion world on fire when he posed on the cover of Vogue in a gender-bending look that paired a blazer with a long, flowy dress. Conservative commentator Candace Owens wasn't happy. She took to X to criticize the former One Direction singer, writing, "There is no society that can survive without strong men. It is an outright attack. Bring back manly men." Many celebs stepped up to defend Styles' experimentation. Elijah Wood tweeted in response, "I think you've missed the definition of what a man is. Masculinity alone does not make a man." While trying to stick up for Styles in her Instagram story, Noah unfortunately went a bit too far by using the word nappy. She was apparently unaware that nappy is a derogatory term related to the natural hairstyles of Black women. Fans quickly called her out on what seemed like a racially motivated response to Owens. To her credit, Cyrus apologized profusely. According to TMZ, she said, "I am mortified that I used a term without knowing the context and history, but I know now and I am horrified and truly sorry. I will never use it again." When Noah was still a teenager, she began to experiment with drugs. She later told Rolling Stone that she first took Xanax with a boyfriend. She said to the outlet, "It became a way for us to bond. I think I wanted to fit in with him. I wanted to be what he wanted and what he thought was cool and what I thought everybody was doing."
That was like the beginning of what was a pretty tough couple years.
Unfortunately, Noah began to rely on the pills, using them as an escape as the world slipped into chaos thanks to COVID-19. In May 2020, Noah recorded an interview about an EP she'd released, and she couldn't hold up her end of the conversation. She recalled to Rolling Stone, "I was completely nodding off and falling asleep and unable to keep my head up or keep my eyes open because I was so far gone." That was a wake-up call for the singer. As someone who once bristled against her famous family's connections, Noah turned to her father for help. She visited him in August of that year, unsure how to convey to him that she was struggling. She revealed on the Kelly Clarkson show,
"He had me take my shoes off and put my feet in the grass and really get connected to home."
They relaxed into the moment, and it wound up being a memory Noah treasured as she committed to her recovery in the months ahead. In 2021, after years of putting in the work to get her singing career off the ground, Noah was nominated for Best New Artist at the Grammys. Technically, she hadn't even released a debut album yet. Many loose singles and several EPs were enough to put her on the radar of the Recording Academy. Noah told Grammy.com that she was overwhelmed by the notion that people were finally paying attention. She said, "It was just kind of like a moment of, they're listening. People are not just looking at you, they're hearing your words."
I was really making the music that I wanted to make.
Noah told the same website that she was honored to continue her family legacy in music, seeing as her dad was nominated for Best New Artist back in 1993. She told Grammy.com, "It just felt full circle for Dad to be sitting there however many years later with his daughter that he didn't even know would exist at that time, celebrating a Grammy nomination. I felt super emotional. My family always wants everyone else to win. We root for one another." Noah didn't win Best New Artist at the 2021 Grammys. The award went to Megan Thee Stallion. The next year, even though she was no longer a new artist, according to Grammy rules, Noah finally released her debut album. Unlike her early singles, which were very pop-heavy and sometimes leaned into hip-hop sounds, the hardest part is a singer-songwriter album that incorporates the sound she grew up around in Nashville. In an interview with Forbes, Noah reflected on the musical transformation she'd undergone in these first years of her career. She explained, "I found myself and my sound in this album, and really, it was just going back home metaphorically." The album reflected a vulnerability that may have surprised fans who only knew Noah from viral moments like her VMAs photos with Lil Xan. In the album's opening moments, she sang, "When I turned 20, I was overcome with the thought that I might not turn 21. Death Cab for Cutie frontman Ben Gibbard worked with Noah on the album, and he told Rolling Stone in 2022 that he was impressed with his collaborator's willingness to mine her struggle for songwriting. He said, "It's easy to be mysterious. It's easy to be aloof. It's easy to be cool. It's so much harder to be earnest, and it's so much harder because she's really opening herself up with a lot of these songs." In 2023, Noah announced on Instagram that she'd gotten engaged. She'd become a muse for fashion designer Pinkus, a man who designs clothing for a brand called Colors. Cyrus modeled some out-there looks in Paris that January, and when she walked a runway for him in June, Pinkus wrote in the caption of an Instagram post, "Proudest fiancé." The engagement announcement took the form of a close-up snapshot of her fancy ring. She wrote in a since-deleted post, "The greatest moment of my entire life was saying yes to spending the rest of ours together. This past month of being your fiancé and being in our own little world of just us two has been so perfect. And I wish I could never leave this time." The lengthy caption praised Pinkus for his openness and for his willingness to love Noah back, even despite all she'd been through. She wrote on Instagram, "Our life so far is a life I never thought I deserved or would live. I never thought I'd be looking forward to living as much as I look forward to living with you." Her entry into the world of high fashion marked a new era in Noah's career. In 2024, she walked for Avellano in a bleached eyebrow wet look, sharing her love, gratitude, and praise for creative director Arthur Avellano on Instagram. Even though she'd spent her entire career trying to make a name for herself separate from her famous family, Noah found herself once more tied to her family's fate when a reported feud erupted between herself and her mother. Billy Ray and Tish Cyrus had a rocky relationship that led to a divorce in 2022. By August 2023, Tish remarried, getting hitched to Prison Break star Dominic Purcell.
I cannot even tell you how amazing he is.
To the surprise of some fans, while Miley was there, Noah did not attend their mother's wedding. Rumors swirled online with fans discussing the potential cause of the apparent estrangement. In March 2023, 2024, a source spoke with Entertainment Tonight and claimed the reason for the rift was that Noah was originally the one in a relationship with Purcell. The source alleged, Noah stopped seeing Dominic and Tish decided to pursue him and did not tell Noah. Furthermore, they claimed that Noah wasn't the one who chose to skip the wedding. In fact, the source said she hadn't even been invited. The source claimed to the outlet, it was Tish who requested security at her wedding to keep Noah out. If you or anyone you know is struggling with addiction issues, help is available. Visit the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration website or contact SAMHSA's National Helpline at 1-800-662-HELP 4357.